It's a lovely good evening to you, our dear viewers. Today's program Pansaka, this is the Ubuntu channel. We are having this program live here now. Our topic of today is rising cases of suicide. And this program is not suitable for a person below the age of 18. And if you have them in your room, please let them excuse you in that room because the program is only suitable for adults. Languages used in this program is for adults. So this program is only for people over the age of 19. So if you have under age of 18, please let them excuse you. In today's program, I'm joined with Honorable Herbert Evangelist Shaabula. Honorable Shaabula, welcome to the program, Pansaka.
Thank you so much, and good evening, all listeners. Thank you.
And also joined by Madam Caroline, the only lady in the studio. Madam Caroline, welcome and good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, listeners. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Our dear viewers, you can also help us by sharing this program to your fellow users. You can also join us in Ubuntu channel at Facebook page. You can also join us at Ubuntu channel at YouTube. These are the channels you can also join us live. To keep the ball rolling, Honorable Shaabula, Evangelist, we are looking at rising cases of suicide. In our communities, we have so many cases that has been arises to the aspect that every time now and then on social media, on the media, we have a report suggesting that this person has been committed suicide, whether that person is a woman, whether that person is a man, but these cases has been arise. May you keep us the ball rolling to tell us what is suicide and many more. Over to you now, Honorable Shaabula.
Okay, thank you so much, and good evening to everyone. As I greeted you already, first of all, I'll start with the defining what suicide is. Suicide is simply killing oneself, killing yourself, taking your own life, taking your own life, terminating your own life, terminating your own life, deleting your own life, deleting your own life. That is suicide. Now, suicide is a complex issue. Dear listeners and viewers, I just want to tell you that suicide is a complex issue and is often caused by a combination of 4 factors. And number one, suicide is genetic. Suicide is genetic. Secondly, it is psychological. It is psychological. The third point, it is a social problem. It is a social problem. And finally, it is an environmental factor. It is also caused by environmental factors. I will break down this so that we move together and understand. However, we need to understand that the most contributing, problems to mental health condition is actually depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety, these are the main causes of suicide. Now, depression and the anxiety can lead to feelings of hopelessness. What I mean by hopelessness, you have no hope for tomorrow. Your future, according to you, ends today, and and also despair, hopelessness and despair. When you despair, then you get into a condition called the depression. You make it difficult for anybody to see a way out of your sufferings. What I mean in this case, it means that, when you look at the situation in which you are in, you feel you cannot come out of it. That is now hopelessness. There is no hope. You feel like you've fallen in a borehole and there's no one to help you. So when you get to that situation, you create depression and also disappear. Now, what causes suicide? Depression, also known, it is known as a major depressant disorder, which with the suicide idea, that can be caused by a variety of factors, including biological factors. Now, what do I mean by this? This is what I talked about to say it is genetic, biological factors. Now, this is a family history of depression. It changes in brain chemistry, and imbalances in the hormones, such as cortisol and the serotonin. They can all contribute to the development of depression. In other words, what do I mean? It means that this is a chemical which is in the mind, in the brain, which can affect an individual. And it is passed from parent to children, children to children, children to children. In other words, it is genetical. So this can also be a big problem. So you find that sometimes in this family, bantu bazipaya bekachabe uyazipaya ujazipaya. It is because it is in the family, and they've got all these hormones which are not well balanced, such as the cortisol and also serotonin. So they cause that. The second part is life events. What do I mean by life events? I'm talking about traumatic life events, such as the loss of a loved one. When you lose a person that you loved so much, your wife, your son, your father, your mother, or somebody who is a breadwinner, you have what is called traumatic life, that is going to create a lot of problems for you. And also loss of a loved one, physical and emotional abuse. This is now another part, sometimes, you find that it is in the family, and people are fighting, they are quarreling, the physical and emotional abuse by the husband, by the parents, by somebody. A person can get into depression. They can be stressed because of physical and emotional abuse. Sometimes financial difficulties, they can also trigger depression. When there's no money in the home, somebody who have problems of that nature and start behaving in a funny way. The third point that we should look at is the social factors. Social factors, that's sometimes you find that the person is isolated socially, or lack of support from the family and friends. This can also cause depression and anxiety, leading to suicide. Sometimes the poor living conditions, like, you are a bourgeois, you're a rich man, or you come from a good family that is well to do, and then you find yourself maybe in prison. The conditions are bad, or just a place where conditions are not okay for you. You can be depressed and then create a lot of problems leading to suicide. Sometimes lack of employment, especially among young people. Somebody is not employed, he goes to the university, and he comes back from the university, begins to look for employment and does not find employment for many, many years, continues to be kept sleeping, with small boys and girls, or maybe if it's a girl with so many girls, if it's a boy or a man, begins sleeping with boys. So this can affect the individual. The other one is the drug epidemics. This can increase the risk of developing depression. Now, what is this? Sometimes, sometimes you find that somebody uses drugs, takes drugs, and then these drugs, they begin depressing the person. In the end, that person will end up taking his life or her life. Sometimes it is a marriage, actually. You agree with me, Emmanuel, that sometimes, especially among ladies, when a lady loses her marriage, her relationships, or boyfriends, this relationship fails, another relationship fails, another one fails, then sometimes the lady will find herself in a situation where she'll begin questioning herself or asking herself, what is happening to me? Has somebody bewitched me? So this can lead to depression. Then the other one is mental health conditions. Now, when we talk of mental health conditions, here I'll ask Caroline to come in because she's the expert in this area. However, I will just scratch on the surface for her. And this anxiety, bipolar disorder. So this, somebody can have a bipolar, disorder, or the post-traumatic stress disorder, the PTSD. This can increase the risk of suicidal depression. You find there are person who just feel like, I can't continue, I can't live on and on. So the best thing is to take my life. Now, what are the signs? Let me get to that so that Carol can also come in. What are the signs of suicide, risks? Well, sometimes you find that somebody is talking about feeling, hopeless, helpless, or worthless. Somebody will say, no, for me, I think there's no future for me. There's nothing that I can get. My family members are not helping me. I'm nothing, in this society. So when somebody begins to talk like that, watch that person and be close to them. Number two, sometimes talking about wanting to die or to hurt oneself. Sometimes we say, no, it's better for me to die than to live. So when such a talk is, comes out of the mouth of the individual, then that is a sign that things are not okay. Or when somebody says, I wish I could shoot myself or kill myself or just take my life, then those are signs that the person is actually living in a danger zone. Sometimes increased alcohol or drug use. When somebody begins to take a lot of alcohol or drinks, beyond normal, then it means that the person is actually trying to take his life. The other one is anxiety. When anxiety or agitation agitated behavior begins to increase, then know that the person is actually has lost it and they would not want to leave. Then the other point is actually withdrawing from friends and families. You find that somebody stops sitting with the brothers and sisters or families or friends, is always isolating himself. Then all these are indications that something is about to happen. Sometimes it is a change in sleep and eating habits. When the habits change, the eating habits change, sleeping habits change. Sometimes the person begins to sleep for too long. He's always sleeping, eating, maybe he eats it too much or too little or not at all. All these are indications of a person that has given up. Then sometimes it's giving away prized possessions. Saying sometimes you will say bye bye. What do I mean? What I mean is that you find that somebody has got even a car. He can just give it to the neighbor. No, the neighbor, imotoka nampa saniyanu muzi driver chabe. And I don't need it. Bye bye nienda. You ask him muyenda kuti. He will not tell you. You will just say no. Nisobera chabe. I'm just playing. Those are indications of a person that is about to go. If you notice the above, all these things, be concerned and be there for them. Be there for them and listen to them. Help them and then connect with them, or maybe help them with a mental health professional such as Caroline, and who is an expert in this. And also try by all means to remove any dangerous item or object that can take away their life, such as firearms, a knife, or dangerous chemicals or dangerous objects. Remove them from them. The other one is help them find a place where they can live, such as support groups, and be able to get help. These are some of the things that I feel can help a suicidal person, in order for them to regain their their confidence and be able to live again. So let me end here and give an opportunity to the expert, Caroline.
Thank you so
Uh,
much,
thank,
Evangelist.
thank you so much, Evangelist, for that well elaborated reasons for the um, meaning of the word suicide. Before I go to Madam Caroline, I would like to urge the viewers that you can also express your views in the comment section. There is a section where you can express your comment. Sooner or later, our director will give you the link. If you want, you can join us in the studio and give us your submission. Right now, let me allow Madam Caroline for her submission.
Okay, thank you so much, MP. I think Evangelist has elaborated a lot of risk factors. He's mentioned family history. He's mentioned mental disorders. Um, I will not repeat anything that he has mentioned. We, as have worked with a lot of people with high risk cases of suicide. So there's what we call suicide risk assessment. Uh, this is a systematic process of evaluating an individual, like why are they engaging themselves in suicide? Okay, the thought behaviors and the attempt. So this involves like various factors that contribute to the person's vulnerability to suicide, as well as the factors they against the suicide. Yeah. So what is the goal? As we have identified the individuals to say there's these factors that is leading this person to suicide. He has mentioned a lot of factors. He has mentioned the risk factors. Okay. So after doing this assessment, it's where you ask a person, have they thought that this risk assessment, it's asking a person to say, have you thought of killing yourself? Because you want to get to the point of why this person wants to kill themselves. So you ask them, have you thought of killing yourself? Do you have you There's suicide, also there's homicide. So there's also another question about homicide where we ask them to say, have you thought of killing another person? Okay. So the third question you ask them is, do they have a plan? When we talk about the plan, it's where you also mentioned about the lethal methods like firearm, uh, pesticide, medications, and all that. So when you get to that, it's where now healthcare, mental health professions come in. Okay, so this person now, after those assessments, okay, after this assessment help, so the mental health professions will come in. Okay, so we are not just going to talk about the mental health professions, because mental health professions are the only people that can help someone who has gone to the facility. But we are talking about people who have not even gone to the facility to ask for help. So how do we help such people? We also have healthcare providers. These are counselors that you can find in hospitals. Okay, we are not only going to talk about the healthcare providers. We also talk about the caregivers. The caregivers are the people in our community, family members, friends, uh, the people in the community. You talk about the teachers in school, because according to statistics, the highest levels of suicide is between the ages of 15 to 29. And after doing a lot of research, it's been found that a lot of women attempt suicide, but a lot of men have died from suicide. So when we talk about the caregivers, these are the people that we live with, our family, friends, uh, teachers, okay, who can take care of the other person. So it's identifying the factors about this person. So we are not going to only talk about the mental health professions, the health caregivers. We also talk about the caregivers, our persons that we live with, family members, friends, teachers, also like elders in churches. So after doing that assessment, so how do we prevent this person? How do we support this person, okay, from suicide, to commit suicide? So now we establish a safety plan, okay? So he's talked about identifying the risk factors which he has mentioned, which Evangelist has mentioned. We also talk about evaluating the protective factors, which is assessing the warning signs. What are these warning signs? Okay. The warning signs that I'm sure is also talked about, like family history. He's talked about family history. He's talked about the environment. I can also talk about the the mental psychological effect. When we talk about the mental health psychological effects, which is it's also talked about depression, and the other persons which also uh, are likely to commit suicide are people with bipolar disorder, because people with bipolar disorder, they get so angry. they are easily irritated. They want to harm themselves. They want to destroy things that also like can harm themselves because they become so angry. They are hyper. They're people with bipolar disorder, so they are likely like to go through this suicidal thoughts. Okay, when we talk about you talked about depression. Depression is also where a person isolates themselves. They don't want to be around people. They uh, they become so sad. As a result, it's very possible to commit suicide. We can also talk about death. He mentioned again. He mentioned about death, losing our beloved ones, especially death that occurs like accident, because that one comes as a shock. You've not seen this person getting sick. This is a parent. Maybe you've not seen them getting sick. It's just accidental, like they just go into shock. All of a sudden, this person's life happens. Maybe it's a parent that you're depending so much. Okay, maybe it's a husband that you're depending so much. Maybe the life has been cut off. If you are in a shock, this is what we call trauma. You have gone into trauma because this person you didn't expect, because someone who's been sick for a long time, there's a way the process of preparing you mentally, uh, knowing to say maybe this person one day they'll give, but death like accident, they bring so much shock that the other person will not even believe the this person has gone. I can give an example. Uh, we were just burying our first, former first lady, Maureen Mwanawasa. Immediately, the driver, her driver, unfortunately, immediately he saw the body of the former first lady, Maureen Mwanawasa. He just collapsed, um, went into shock. He was okay, but later on, as they were taking the body, he got he went into another shock. The time they were taking him to UTH, Lady Mwanawasa, he was gone. So these are some of the incidences that a person will not reprocess, like life challenges. They will not reprocess in a way that they feel this is the end of life. Okay, so others will not just maybe go into such death, but also maybe just commit suicide. Okay, just commit suicide. So you mentioned a lot of factors why people suicidal, uh, family history. I gave an example of death that brings so much shock, like accident, or maybe someone just happened to die. Also, you mentioned also marriages where you didn't expect that this person would divorce, but there are also like divorces that where you know to say this has been like the marriage that has been struggling for a long time. So when it happens, when you have divorce, it's something that has prepared you to say this marriage is not good. But, but there are those marriages that suddenly you didn't even expect it's going to survive. A lot of people are going to shop, blaming themselves for what they've had. So there's so much self-blame for what had happened. So also talk about protective, maybe I'll talk about protective factors. So how do we help this person want, who wants to commit suicide? After talking to them, maybe they want to commit suicide. We've already done the intervention treatment towards this person. We've helped them. Maybe they've gone through uh, counseling. So how do we support them? They need a strong support system, okay? Like support system, people, the people around them. I talked about people around them, the caregivers, people that can talk to them, the family members, the relatives, friends, teachers, uh, uh, church elders. If you identify to say this person needs intervention, they need a treatment, intervention treatment. So this can be a protective factor. These are can be protective factors that can help this person not to go into society. Okay. So another uh, protective factor is effective mental health treatment. So we've got so many mental health facilities, but when we talk about uh, effective mental health treatment, it's someone who has gone through that treatment and it has worked for them. I've seen a lot of people going through mental health facility, do the program, and come back few weeks, months later, they relapse and go back to the same, or maybe eventually manages to commit suicide. Yeah. So when we talk about effective mental health treatment, it's effective meeting the professions that can help you go through the treatment, finish the treatment. Okay. Then the other thing is helping them to have problem solving skills. When I talk about problem solving skills, it's effective communication with the other people. Explain to them what you are going through so that they can help you. Okay? Communication skills, clear. And when you're communicating to the other person, communication skills, when you communicate to the other person, you also have a solution to the problem. Okay? You also have other alternatives like why do you have been, I want to kill myself because of this. But you have also other solutions to, okay, like problem solving skills, where you are able to look at the problem in a very different perspective. You look at the problem, say, uh, I have no control of life situation. So now you help them have these skills like communication skills, problem solving skills, okay? Also having a positive coping strategy. The positive coping strategy is refraining from negative thoughts, okay?
Okay,
Into positive one.
Madam Palo,
Yes,
your audio is cracking. We are not
it's like,
getting you right. Yeah, your audio is cracking.
okay, you're not able to get me.
Yeah, at the end here, we are not getting you.
Okay, so I was
Uh-huh.
saying you help them have proper positive coping strategies with life
Okay.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
when you
Thank
have, yeah,
you. Go on, go on.
yeah. So when you have you proper like positive coping strategies, you are not saying you are ignoring the problem, but you are saying you are refraining from the negative thinking pattern. Okay, the problem is there, but changing the way you see things. Okay, so this is how you help the other person through that treatment. They're able to see the positive, the coping positive coping strategies. So that is how we call the uh, the effective treatment, mental treatment. So it's helping this person change the pattern of thinking, the way they think towards that uh, life situation. So when they undergo this mental uh, health treatment, you have helped them look at the situation differently. So I was talking about protective factors, helping this person refrain from thinking, wanting to kill themselves because of this problem. Thank you. I
Mhm.
think I can end here.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Caroline, for that submission. We value it. And right now, Evangelist, we have so many scenarios whereby um, these cases are coming in, like someone has entered into a relationship with a woman, and he has ventured so much into that relationship, and later on, by the end of the day, the relationship collapsed, and it got worsened the situation to this man who has invested so much into the relationship. So the question is, what are the major uh, causes of this suicide? Are there any reasons with that we can call it as major reasons of causing suicides, so that we can help someone outside there to understand that these are major reasons of suicide? Evangelist.
Um, you see what we did in the beginning there. We indicated what the real major reasons for this. Now we may not pinpoint to say this is the major point reason and that is the major reason, because it is, these reasons are actually in four parts. In four parts. I said one reason, it could be genetic. It means it is a family problem. A family problem. It is passed on from parent to children, children to children. Now,
Mhm.
that will from time to time come up when something triggers it, and then to cause this person to decide to take their own life, because it is within the family, and this is caused by actually depression and anxiety. Now, this is as I said, it will come into the mind of this person and cause problems. Then I talked of psychological. It is a psychological problem. If it is psychological problem, it means now has got to do with the perception, the way you look at things. You feel hopeless, you feel helpless, you feel worthless. Now that is, you think that is how people are looking at me. I'm nobody, I'm what and what, things of that nature. Those are some of the things that can actually create, a problem of that nature. Yeah. Sometimes, as I put it, you find that it is a life events. These are some of the things that come out as a trauma. Carol has put it very, very clear that it comes as a result of these issues where we come from. Maybe we have lost somebody in the family, and this is very, very common, especially among women. When the husband dies, a husband was a breadwinner, a father dies, a mother dies. Sometimes even the children gets affected because of that. So these are some of the main things that come up. Loss of a loved one, the physical and emotional abuse also comes in, physical and emotional. Now, these are men that tell their wives. In sometimes I'm trying to. It can happen both, either a man or a woman. But in most cases, it is men who'd want to abuse their wives or a girlfriend. You start beating her. You tell her you are nothing. You are foolish. You are a fool. There's nothing in you. Who can love you? Nobody can love you. You are nobody. So you are reducing emotionally. You are reducing this person
to nothing. So then they begin, looking at themselves as nothing or not worth to live. So these are some of the main ones. Then financial difficulties. You are in a situation whereby you can't make a head nor a tail. You can't move. Ndarama zavuta, wapya. For example, let me give an example here. In Congole, you've got dates. These dates uyabwera afuna ndrama, uyu afuna ndrama, yonanitengera ndrama, yoenza kupereka kukoti, you whatever it is. When these things begin to build up in you, that is the time when you feel like I'm not worth to live. So in the chabe. So those are some of the things, and they are common. So for us to pinpoint to say which one are the most common ones, it will be difficult. But all in each category, they are a group of people that have are affected. The other one now, it is which we said is the social factors. Those are people that want to, there's lack of support from the family and the friends. They feel in a family sibanifuna, and kadwala sibaniona. When there's a funeral, they don't even tell me that somebody died. How can we tell you a poor person uzaenda bwanyu libe drama? So all these things, they affect individuals. Sometimes it's just a social isolation. This person is alone, does not want to mix with other people or mingle with other people. He thinks that socially maybe bantu bazaniseka. Sometimes this one, listen to me. This one sometimes it comes to a lot of those people who are earning big money. They were bosses in Munchito. They were making a lot of money. They had privileges. Now those privileges are gone. Making money is gone. They've become poor. And now they depend on other people. So in the end, socially, they will sometimes want to isolate themselves. Bakaona banzao wameenda kusenza now, they want to hide. Bantu wameanka now in the neighborhood, they will hide. So all this is very, very common. And this brings in, for example, like, poor living conditions, as I put it. Sometimes, because you have moved from that level where you are, my levels are changing. Now you are living in a poor situation, poor living condition. So this can affect you. And employment. This is common among young people that have completed school, grade 12, Form 5, my colleges. They can't find employment. This can affect them. Maybe at Nizipaye Chabe, during the time of MMD, sinapeza nchito, mu PF sinapeza nchito, mu UPND sinapeza nchito, manje zankala bwanji. So I think there's no reason for me to leave. So they take their life. These are in this group, and there are also many. There are many. Then now, manje, my drug epidemics. This can increase the risk of developing, depression. When you take drugs, they depress your system in the body, and the brain is affected, and then you become depressed to the point whereby you can easily take your life. And there are also many. And I've talked about the mental health, conditions. This is, anxiety. I talked about, bipolar disorder, or the post-traumatic, stress disorder, the PTSD. All these can come. It can increase the risk of suicidal depression, because of so many things that are affecting your brain. Yeah. So in short, what I can say is that, each situation in these 4 areas, each situation will affect an individual according to how they found themselves. And so that's why we cannot pinpoint to say maybe the majority are those who drink beers or those who take drugs, because each situation, it has got its own customers, its own victims. So those victims, they will find themselves, in this situation, depending on the situation in which they are in. Thank you so much on this one.
All right. Thank you so much, Evangelist. Madam Carlo. Before I go to Madam Carlo, um, our director, if we have any comment in our comment section, you can also show us on the screen so that Evangelist or Madam Carlo can also comment. Let me go to Madam Carlo. If the messages will be coming, I will read them. Madam Carlo, what are the common myths on the society? We are saying the common myth now.
You are saying there? I didn't get you.
What are the common myths on the society?
The common mic?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I cannot say it's just what I can say is just the positive coping strategies of a person. Okay. So
Mhm.
the common uh, the common my in societal thing, it's just like coping, positive coping strategy, especially in mental uh, health, in mental uh, disorders, because it's how we process the situation, okay, which has affected a person emotionally. They are failing to reprocess the emotions of what has happened, or maybe the situations that has happened. Mostly, it's the common thing is it's the mental, it's how we reprocess the situation, the the way the situations that affected the person. So, in short, it's the thought, the the psychological effect of how you reprocess the thought about the situations that has happened. So the major thing is about just reprocessing the thought of the situation that has triggered. Is I think Evangelist has mentioned a lot of uh, uh, triggers, the lot of situations that happens that causes the person to do that. So it's reprocessing the thought that from a situation. So it's what affects the person emotionally, and how their behavior also results to, I can't take it anymore. They fail to reprocess the emotion. As a result, they take their own life. So it's the mental, uh, it's how we reprocess actually our thoughts that affects the emotions and the behavior of the person. So we've talked about a lot of things, a lot of factors, risk factors, prevention factors. So in short, all about how we reprocess the thought, okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the emotion at the end of it. So it's what results now to behavior, the acting. How do we react now to this? You know, the way psychology is, the way our psychological are affected. Like a thought is like a bird. A bird will run through the tree trying to put a nest there, and it finds, puts a nest and finds a home. That's how thoughts are triggered from situation. You lose a loved one, their
All
life
right.
patch. Yeah, you start thinking, if this is all my the end of everything. So you have not reprocessed. You're not thinking in a different way, having a bigger picture to say, this is not everything. I have no control of the situation. But even in the same situation, you need to think in a positive way, reprocess in a positive one. Look at another life for which I still have life. Okay. So
Okay.
it's how we process our thoughts, our feelings, and the way we react to whatever has happened, life situation.
Thank you so much, Madam Caro, for that information. My colleagues, we need to rewind up our program. As we are rewinding up, um, Honorable Evangelist, I want you to conclude in this situation. Um, from traditional aspect side, how was suicide addressed or handled? I think you have gotten that question clear. From
Yes,
traditional aspect, yeah, from
mm,
traditional aspect, how was suicide addressed or handled? Then from the religion or church, how do they handle suicide and the law do they pray? So in these two questions, as you are winding up, you can also provide answers to those two questions. Over to you now.
okay. Thank you so much. You know, both traditionally and the modern life, either in the church or in schools or at places of work, the way such a patient or a victim is handled, the procedure is the same. The procedure is the same. First of all, you must establish the root cause of what has stressed that person. What is it that has triggered that person, you know, for him to or for her to be in that situation? And then from there, you should be concerned about the safety of that person. You know, make sure that you know that person will not injure himself, because there are, you know, things that can take his life or her life are removed from his presence. That's the firearms, the knives, the razor blades, the any sharp metal, the drugs, poison of that nature. Anything that can take the life of that person or injure the life of that person should be removed, whether it is traditional or maybe it is in at a workplace or in school. These should be there. And then from there, the other issue is that, you know, caregivers should be around just to make sure that you provide, you know, care to that person. And also sometimes if they stop eating, you need to encourage them to eat, to bath, to sleep, and to also take the medication. So this is very, very important. And ensure that where they are is a clean environment. That should be provided either traditionally or that should be given. And there are certain times when somebody will get into a situation where it becomes serious. Now the person is depressed to the condition of where you look at that person and say, "We want to afunta." So now it means that now that is a hospital case, and the hospital should that person should be taken to the hospital so that the doctors can help that person. That is very, very important. Traditionally, in most cases, you know, in our tradition, vakaona chabe kuti muntu amba kuoneka monga afunta like this, vevati vamuloza nemankwala vafuna kumupaya. So they will start, you know, and they start accusing each other. No, ni Abia, no, ni CJ, ni Emmanuel, ni Caroline, ni Hebeti. So you know that is what is there in our tradition. Sometimes they will say, sometimes they will say, no, tie chabe kunganga. Nganga zabauza no ni vaneighbor chifukwa mukudya nkuku maningi kuja muzionesa, so niwamere vamuloza. It might not be that. You should look around in those 4 areas which I mentioned. You know, so traditionally we have a problem with this situation or condition. The way it is interpreted, the way it is handled. So we need to change. to be able to face it and handle it properly. So traditionally, we have a lot to do about the same, because we don't really help people the way they should be helped. Yeah, so that is what it is. So in short, this is a very serious condition, Abia, that everyone should be concerned. Everyone is concerned. Suicide is everyone's concern. It's not just for the victim. No, it is everyone's concern. We should be concerned to see that our friends are assisted, they are helped, we take them out of their hopeless condition, their helpless condition, their worthless condition. We give them the love required and the support, so that they can be able to stand on their own and know that they are loved and they are cared for, and they can contribute to the nation. And we need to just to give them hope, talk to them, give them hope, give them encouragement. That way it helps. Let them know that you are Mwamuna, ngati Mwamuna, tell you are a real man. So all you need to do is just stand up, let's work together, let's do things. Let them hear the voice of encouragement, a voice of hope, a helping voice. Let it come out, and when they see this, they experience this, they will pick up their bones and be able to walk and do the correct thing. And then from there, also let's commit them to the word of God. Let's tell them God loves them, He cares for them, and He will see them through. So these are some of the things that we need to do, Abia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Evangelist. It has been a lovely program, lovely 57 minutes of discussion on rising cases of suicide. And I think our dear viewers, we leave it here. Encourage your neighbor, encourage your friends to walk away from those minds of killing themselves. If you have seen such signs that we have been discussed in this program, please help that person, because we don't want to lose lives in that manner. I think by this time, we can only thank the Honorable Evangelist Shaabula for being part of this program. Also, we are thanking Madam Caroline for, as the only lady in this program, representing the other gender. We really appreciate your availability. And we thank also our director, Emmanuel Nkunika, CJ, Himba, Chaza, Lawrence, Rance, and any other group like Wom Kirabai. This has been a lovely program, Ubuntu Channel, Pansaka. Join us next week as we have another hot topic that are coming in the next week, so that we can see how we can help each other in the community. Please, let's stop rising cases of suicide. It's not a good idea. Zambia is a Christian nation. We are there for each other, to help each other, so that we can prosper in life. We leave it here. It's a lovely, good evening to you all, and have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.